I was born to be the star of the show. If you fancy irony, there's a lot to unpack there. Speaking of unpacking, I've just arrived at my new home. Fragrances of honey, cinnamon, and pumpkin spice trace the trim like 3M painter's tape during wide-scale renovations. I imagine the duality of new homes possibly feels like to welcome amongst oneself a new place and then being welcomed into a new place as oneself. Thoughts to savor while on duty. My siblings were all keen on this day, Adoption Day. For me, it felt more like an acquisition of sorts, but maybe that lends itself to perspective rather than absolutes. I spent so much time anticipating being accepted into a new family, I rarely gave much thought to my new home. Let's step back and take it in order of appearance, if you'll allow it. I was groomed and trained to be a star. Every conversation I've ever had has been wrapped around the subject. I exist for that moment. The interesting thing, you see, is I've never done it for real though. I'm overzealous at the notion of it all. It's hard not to be. The air at my quote-unquote orphanage of sorts was filled with laughter, hopes, expectations, transformations, love. It's that time of the year seasonally. The magical time when we get to be whomever or whatever. Families gather to eat and share. Wishes and dreams have the possibility of being fulfilled. There's never been a period in my life that I've ever been both happy and utterly terrified at the same time. This was that. It felt like being bagged and kidnapped with an uncertain promise of paradise over the horizon. Many have taken a similar journey, but none have returned to share their experiences. The ride to my new home felt difficult, but oh so freeing. I should probably be grateful that I was chosen though, because not everyone is. The arrival home was nothing like I expected. Grandiose is a new word I have come to learn. My new dad mentioned it about the neighbors. Said something to the effect of constantly having to compete with them because of it. I wasn't sure what the specifics were because it was daytime and he told my new mom she'd see what he meant this evening. As we got out of the car, the sun stepped into full view over the high arches at the apex of the roof. The blue skies poured onto the tree line and fell victim to an onslaught of whites and greens. The beauty of it all lasted but a second, and then we were inside my new home. I've been here a month now and have not seen the entire house. It's huge. I think I expected a welcoming celebration in my honor, but the lack of it felt like I was being quarantined from everyone. Because I was shown to my room, and I'm rarely allowed to leave unless I'm escorted by Dad. I spent some time getting to know him, but with everyone else, the atmosphere feels very businesslike. I dread the day I will start work. Like, I don't know if I feel at home in my own home. What will my first day be like? Can I do what I've been trained to do if I can't even get family right? Dad came and got me one day. Freed me from the boredom and isolation that is my room. I mean, I assume everyone else's rooms are insanely larger than mine because I never see them. Maybe something worth renegotiating after a few days of meaningful contribution. I stiffened with doubt. As he walked, he muttered expectations about my first day but seemed confident in my abilities. Never knew dads could be so supportive. My first dad. Wow. You see, my whole life I've been labeled and observed, essentially told what I could and could not do. But both this person and family took me in and accepted me as is, no matter how objectified I felt or unimportant. this moment feels unimaginable. I have no basis for comparison, and I'm about to explain why. During the time you spent getting to know me, my life has drastically changed. So much has happened. You see, I'm a star tree topper. I've been told my job at the top of the Christmas tree is the most important. This was the wisdom passed down from all those who had gone before me. I spent many of nights on the shelf with all the other unlit stars staring out of the store windows, wondering what it must be like to illuminate the world around us at night. Lights, whomever they are, have their own duty, and so do ornaments, streamers, and hooks. We all have a role that bonds in some fluidity of unison, but I stand apart. I am both light and ornament, the protagonist and the supporting cast. I am a star. Dad presented me to most of my family for the very first time this day. They were eager to meet me, to see me. I was feeling so anxious. Mother looked hopeful yet concerned. Dad elevated me in front of them as if to raise me above the world. As he climbed the ladder, my family's only discernible features were just eyes and teeth. Teeth and cheeks, like I like to say. I was ecstatic now. I was seated on a throne at the pinnacle of a tree. Electrified, I smiled at my family and they returned the gesture. From that moment on, they gathered with me, shared stories and space in my presence. When they slept, I watched over our home, and when I slept, they watched over me. We made time for memories and allowed extended members of the family to visit us. They brought dozens of gifts and immeasurable amounts of cheer. Laughter pranced through the room, on her toes with finesse and elegance. I wish I could tell all the stars that would not be chosen this Christmas that the company of loved ones is what defines these holidays. Not the desire to be chosen, or the expectations that quote the other side of hopes. Togetherness is what truly pays compliments to the season.